In this session, I'm going to show you how you can set up the SMB or CIFS share and the NFS share on TrueNAS. So we are right now working on the TrueNAS version 12.0 major, and the version below this might be called as FreeNAS, but then the steps are the same. So in this particular scenario, I have two disks attached. If you go to storage and if you click on disk, you will see that I have two disks attached. Well, this is the primary disk, whereas in the TrueNAS is installed on. And I have two more disks attached, ADA1, ADA2, which are not in use because you can see that the pool information is showing as not available. So let's try to create the pool, and then let's try to create the CIFS or SMB and NFS share. And then once done, we will try to test the file sharing using the NFS or the SMB protocol on Windows and the Linux-based operating system. So once you have the disk attached, once you have the available space to create the share, you can click on pools and then add a pool. Let me just try to create a pool. I'll name the pool as NFS. Okay. And whatever device you have attached to the TrueNAS will appear here. So I'm going to use ADA1 for my setup. And I can use ADA2 as well. So more the disk you have, better is the option that the TrueNAS will show you. For example, here I just have two disks, so it is not showing me enough options. There are two options. One is the stripe, other one is the mirror. So I'm going to go with the stripe. I don't want to mirror. And the 6 GB of space that you see, out of 6 GB, some amount of space will be used for the system operation. You can see the information here. More the disk you have, more the options it will show you. Mirror requires at least two disks and mirrors the data from one disk to another. And we are going with the stripe right now, which uses the entire capacity of the disk for the storage and has no redundancy. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can set up the software-based RAID on the TrueNAS using multiple disks attached to the device. So let's get started. I have selected two available disks, ADA1, ADA2, each of them with 3 gig space. Click on force, click on confirm, click on continue, confirm, create pool. So it is creating the pool. Out of the 6 GB space, some amount will be used for the operation of the system in the backend. Right now we have created the pool NFS. All right. So in the next video, I'll explain about the other options that will be available to you with multiple disks attached. So right now we have the disk, we have the disk. You can see here, earlier it was showing as not available. Now it is showing as NFS, which is the pool which is using this. So now that we have created the pool, we can use this pool for our CIFS or SMB and NFS share. Click on sharing, go to SMB, create the SMB share. You can see here, this is our share. This is the pool that we just created. Advanced settings. Let's try to submit this. Let's try to go with the default settings. So now we have the SMB share created. Let's try to create the NFS share as well. Click on add, select the same pool. Enable description as NFS. So we are not going into the advanced option, but then if you want, you can map certain groups, certain users to restrict the access to the share. It has the option for the authorized network, whereas in you can put in the network which are authorized to access the share. A lot of information here. So I'm going with the basic option. So now that we have created both the shares, SMB share and FS share, let's try to click on the service and then enables NFS. So by default, it'll be in stop state, drag it and then enable it. So our NFS share is running on 192.168.0.236. If you want, you can enable the NFS version 4 as well. And you can save it. So now we have enabled the NFS sharing. Let's try to. So SMB will again be disabled. I guess it gets enabled when you try to create the SMB share. So once you enable the SMB, you can see the settings here inside the SMB. Advanced setting, you can check all the settings. It is based on the account which should have the access. And the binding IP address, for example, in our case, it is already by default 236. So we are not going to change anything. Save the settings. Okay, so next we will try to create a user. Click on user, try to add a user. I'm creating a user. Let's try to create a simple password. And the user ID you can see here, 1000. Let's try to give the access as well. Permit sudo, SMB authentication as well. So now we have created the user. You can see here all the rights given, read, write, execute. Okay, so now we have both the services running. which is our SMB and NFS. Let's try to check the mapping. This is my window machine. Let's try to see. Username is Sumit, the one that we created. You can see here, it is showing as, and this is the share that we created. Okay, so I'm keeping the default settings here. If you want, you can map the specific user here. So for the SMB, well, for the user account, Sumit, have given this user the complete access to the directory, which is inside the NFS, that the pool that we created for this particular user. All the rights are given, and we have given the privilege of Samba authentication, which is SMB authentication for the Samba share. Okay, let's get back here. Let's try to create some files. Okay, so we are able to write the files as well. So now that we are able to access the shares that we created on the TrueNAS, we are able to access the same on the window machine as well. Now let's try to check our NFS share. This is the Ubuntu machine. You can see the kernel version here. So this is Ubuntu 20.04.1 LTS. This is the file system. We don't have any mounting right now. So let's try to create the Nfs Mount. Okay, so before that, I have a simple directory created here with the name nfs test. So I'm going to use this for mounting. -t is the option. Let me cross check the command. Okay, it is small t. Now that the operating system has the mount, you can see here, this is the mount that we just created. The NFS share is mounted onto our local file system. Let's try to get into that. You can see here. Okay, so I can write something there as well. Okay, let's try to change the privilege there. Go to advanced settings and try to use root. Let's see. So I've given the privilege for the root user. Okay, so we have the write access as well right now. Let's try to check the same in the window, if the same is getting reflected there or not. You can see here, this is the text that we just created for confirmation. I'll try to add one more. Okay, this is the same file that I just edited. You can see here, and I can write here as well, I guess. Okay, so the user Sumit is only having the read write access to this. Let's get back to Ubuntu and let's check the same. You can see here. Let's see if it is allowing us to write something to this, which is inside the submit directory inside NFS. Okay, it is allowing us to write there as well. So I have just written something inside the folder submit. Let's try to verify that. You can see here. So it is entertaining the write as well. So that's all in this video. I hope you have learned about how to create the NFS and the SMB share in TrueNAS. And if you have any questions, do leave them in the comment section. And please do subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and see you in the next video.